Hi, today I'm here to talk about one of the granddaddy of SEO and marketing tools, Semrush. If you're a blogger, a business owner, a fellow SEO nerd like me, a marketing pro, you've probably already heard and probably even used Semrush. If you're looking to expand your SEO capabilities or you haven't been in Semrush for a while, or you're thinking, is it still worth it in 2025? Stay here. I'm going to do a full walkthrough. I'm going to tell you what I really think, and we're going to see all of the things that Semrush does. My name's Amy Aitman. I've been in SEO and search and content marketing for over a decade. I've built hundreds of websites. I've executed hundreds of SEO campaigns, strategies, built content teams, and I'm so happy to be here walking through Semrush. It is the granddaddy of SEO tools and one that I keep going back to. And it's one of those tools where the more you're in it, the more capabilities that you want. So let's get into it. So Semrush got over 55 tools right now. And one of the things that I really appreciate about Semrush, and can also be a little bit overwhelming, is that they keep innovating. And just like search is changing and shifting and becoming more fragmented in 2025 with AI overviews, with ChatGPT search, Perplexity search, Bing, we can say Bing's in there as well. There's so many places for users to search. So I think I really appreciate how Semrush thinks through what we really need as marketers, as digital SEO experts, as business owners, and keeps expanding. But yes, 55 tools plus can get kind of overwhelming. So here you can see keyword research is something that Semrush is really known for. We'll go into that a little bit more. There's also on-page SEO, which I love as a content nerd. This is something that I think is really, really important. Competitor analysis, obviously one of those foundational things that you need to do in search, and there's 5 tools for that. It's not just a typical SEO tool. There's a reason why Semrush is the go-to granddaddy of them all. The PR side of things was really interesting for me these days because of AI overviews, and because so many of us in SEO right now are thinking, how do we get into those AI overviews, and what does that mean for clicks? What does that mean for the search today? So I love that. Monetization, of course, important. Content creation and distribution. As a content operator, as somebody on the operation side of things, I really do appreciate that. But I do recommend, if you are interested in Semrush, or you haven't been there for a while, or you are a Semrush user and you want to expand, book some time for yourself, take some time to go through all this. But I'll give you a walkthrough today, and hopefully at the end. Okay, let's get into it. This is the Semrush dashboard. As you can see on the left here, there is so many things that Semrush does. But one of the things that I really appreciate is that wherever you are, if you go to the SEO dashboard here, you can customize based on your workflows, based on the goals that you have or what you do. It's very easy. You can hide widgets, you can restore widgets, and all of these things can be set up as well. So there's a lot of customization here as you get involved and use this tool more, which I really, really appreciate, because all of us know if we're going to be in any kind of software or any kind of tool every day, there are some things that we need to see. There's some things that we don't need to see. We all have our own kind of approach to SEO and to search. We all have our own goals, and that customization is really, really key, and I really love it. So for our demo today, for our walkthrough today, I am having a look at one of my favorite sites I'm a fan, East Coast Mermaid. This is not my site. I don't think this is particularly an SEO driven site, which probably is why I love it so much. But she's a great creator, and I thought I would use this site. It's a smaller site to walk through some of the examples today. So thank you very much. It can be a little bit overwhelming, especially for newbies. So my recommendation, if you are new and you spend some time, the free trial, I think, gives you 7 days to test it. I'd say literally book some time and just spend some time going through all of these things. But Semrush has a lot of great education. There's a lot of resources, but I think I'm a big believer in just dig in, get into the tool, and start to use it and start to see the possibilities. So I do recommend that. One of the first things that I want to talk about is the keyword research tools. This is like the baseline foundational part of SEO for many of us, and Semrush really excels at keyword research. As you can see, they have the keyword overview, keyword magic tool, keyword strategy builder, position tracking, organic traffic insights, everything that you would want to see when you're building out a content strategy, an SEO strategy, when you're looking at your site. Really lets you see the competition, the trends. You can get as nerdy and go as in-depth as you want with Semrush. It's one of those really powerful tools, and I like it because I really trust the data. I mean, it's been around for over a decade, continually making this tool better, and you can tell that Semrush wants to stay ahead of other SEO tool competitions. A question I get asked a lot with SEO tools, because there's a new SEO tool coming out every day. There's a new AI tool that someone's created in vibe coding in their in their basement, and they can be like really inexpensive, and maybe they do one thing, and maybe there are some great tools that do one thing really well, but Semrush does a lot of things really well, and the data pool and where the data comes from is really, really important. And we talk about that a lot in our Semrush articles on the digital merchants, so go check those out and you can learn more about why I'm saying like trust the data. Thing that makes Semrush stand out and why so many of us love it is the keyword magic tool. This is like an industry go-to thing that we use. So although I am a big proponent these days of thinking of long tail, the keyword magic tool is a great way to discover some of those long tails. I feel like as users and as searchers are interacting more with the AI tools, long tail is becoming more and more important, and keyword research is a great place to start, and also to find some of those like hidden gems of how people are searching. I think Semrush does a great job of that. You get tons and tons of information, and it's a really good starting point for a content strategy, for a plan, and to start thinking about the things, especially if you are not as familiar with the niche or not as familiar with the topic. This is a really great start. So the keyword magic tool is something that, like I said, is a go-to Semrush tool. The keyword strategy builder, of course, they're making it really easy. There's an AI assistant here. You can navigate faster. I know where I work my day job, we create thousands of pieces of content, lots and lots of content plans. These kind of tools make it so great, so easy. Topic overviews, I think thinking in terms of a topic and creating topic clusters is really an important foundation. And like I said, with Semrush, you can go as nerdy, as in-depth as you need to, and you can keep going. We could be here all day talking about the keyword research tools and what you can do and the reporting that Semrush can do for you. Of course, there's like position tracking, organic traffic insights. Like I said, you can export your keywords to other tools, send them to Excel. Just that, I feel like, is almost worth the price of admission sometimes, because I love having things to sort in Excel. I love having that, and I can pull that into our own workflows and use that. Again, one of the things I do appreciate about Semrush is they think about the actual user, the workflows that we're doing, the case studies, all the things that we're doing with the customizable dashboards, with the integrations. It does quite a bit. So I'm really impressed with that. Okay, let's talk about competitor analysis. This is a standout feature and some standout tools that Semrush has that others don't have. And it comes down to, the database, where they're pulling the data, and just the way the tools are working. You can use domain overview to analyze any website. We love looking at competitor websites and seeing, I get great ideas for new topics. One of the things that I really love doing now is having a look at Reddit and really thinking through the questions people are asking. Reddit's just ranking for everything, right? And thinking through the questions and navigating all of those like long tail terms. So I think You get traffic trends, keyword rankings, backlink totals, top pages, and so much more. There's helpful analysis here for the entire content funnel, the entire search funnel. You can actually look at up to 5 competitors side by side in this as well. Of course, we could talk about the keyword gaps. So up to 5 domains, subdomains, folders, exact URLs. You can choose the keyword types. You can really get insights to stay ahead, and any SEO worth their weight in gold or has been around, we get really excited about finding those hidden gems or those keywords that a competitor is maybe covering but not really well. That's why I love having a look at Reddit, because there's new questions that come up in these conversations organically that I can, dig through and find some of those great keywords. And again, Semrush helps you find that information, helps you pull together and do a full competitor analysis. And there's so many ways to use this tool, and there's so many ways to find those keyword gaps, find those opportunities to get your ranking. Okay, anyone with an SEO agency, a marketing agency, or anyone that works with clients, do any kind of reporting, position tracking and ranking is something that I think is really important in our industry. And Semrush has a lot of really great position tracking capabilities here. Of course, we can target some of the keywords that we want. So again, New Brunswick might be one of the keywords that we target for this site. Be like Lobster Fest. This is a fun little start tracking. So the visibility trends are great. You can see whether you're gaining or losing ground overall, and really identify when things are within striking distance for you to optimize, or when you're losing traffic. And I think we've all been there too. There's a cannibalization report, which shows some of your own pages that maybe are competing for the same term. So maybe you want to clean that up. You can also add competitors and track their visibility and keyword movement and kind of see what's working for them as well. This is one of those weekly check-in tools that just becomes part of what you do and what you work for clients. Now, usually this would be full, but I just started a new trial for this demo purpose. It should be full of your data. Okay, let's talk about some of the content marketing capabilities that Semrush has. And a lot of this is going to be great for many content builders. I see this being such a helpful set of tools for a small business owner. Perhaps maybe you're doing your own content strategy with budget cuts and a lot of people having teams of one for content. I think Semrush can really be such a helpful lift and really get you somewhere really quickly. You can find topic ideas. You can create content briefs. You can generate full articles, and then you can optimize content. Many of the things to get your content up, polished, using AI, Semrush has. And I think that's really, really important in today's world, because I feel like I said, with budget cuts, there's a lot of teams of one with small business owners, and it gives you something to work with and to start. It's not as advanced as other tools, as other content optimization tools, and that can really get into the content clustering and thinking about not only one piece of content, but the entire cluster of content. I'm thinking market views, those kind of tools. But it is a great starting point, and I think it can save a lot of time, especially for those content teams of ones. Topic research can also be useful to find angles. A lot of times with these SEO tools, it's not necessarily the tool itself. Like, this tool pulls from great data, has these capabilities, but it's the creativity and the strategy behind the tool that makes it work. So if I was going to use this for, say, to generate a content brief, I would probably instruct my writing team or my experts team to use the brief with as a guide. It's a starting point. But if I was a team of one, a small business owner that is using it, I might say, okay, we really need to have as much of the structure as we need to. How we use these tools is really important. But again, I wanted to walk through and show you the capabilities and the possibilities with Semrush when it comes to content marketing. Okay, let's talk briefly about Semrush's backlink tools, and I'm not going to get into a real debate on backlinks. Do they matter? Because they do matter, and they can make a big difference in your SEO strategy. And so I feel like this is just one of those foundational things that needs to be done. There's a lot of things that you can discover here in Semrush. Again, if you're a newbie to this and you're creating or you're new to SEO and this is what you're doing, I think Semrush makes it really, really easy to use these tools. There's information here, like what are backlinks and why do they matter, right at your fingertips as you are engaging with the back end here. How to check backlinks with Semrush. Enter a domain, click analyze, review the overview, explore detailed reports, compare with competitors, track changes over time. They make it really easy. So if you are listening and watching this video and thinking, wow, this is a lot. This is an overwhelming dashboard. I'm new to SEO, or I'm a small business owner. I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to do a complete backlink analysis for my site or what that even means. I would say, again, sign up for a free Semrush account. Use some of these features and follow the workflows and follow what they have here. And even us that have been in the industry for a long time, I don't do a lot of technical SEO anymore. I don't do a lot of backlink and analysis reports, or that's not something I do on my day-to-day. So even me, I'm like, okay, what do I do? And how do I use this tool? But Semrush makes it really easy, and there's a lot of capabilities for it. I think it's got a really good mix of analysis and actionability here, things that you can actually do. It also identifies the toxic links, the things that you don't want. The backlink gap is a competitor feature. You can also enter a few competitors, which we love, and shows domains linking to them, but not you. Do we hear a strategy coming on for that? So now I want to talk about the site audit and on-page SEO. And this is probably where I spend a lot of my time because I feel like I think optimizing content is still a really important thing to do. I think as search landscape changes, I think it's really important for us to continually look at our websites, identify critical SEO issues with site audits, and also identify opportunities to optimize our content. So Semrush does a really great job of that. Of course, we could do audit here, and you can get an email once the audit is complete. It doesn't take too long, obviously for a massive site, it's going to take quite some time. But again, if you're new to SEO tools, SEO at all, they make it really simple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is what you need to do. So you can kind of feel like a pro pretty quickly, and you can monitor your website's health over time. I have clients that have Semrush just for the reporting and just for the monitoring features of it. They might use something like Ahrefs to do their keyword research or other tools to do competitive analysis. But for the monitoring, Semrush is pretty great and pretty straightforward as well. Of course, the on-page SEO checker is really cool. You can get a report on all the pages of your site. You can get a report on any one page of your website. You can action it out and give it to a team member or a content publisher or an SEO on your team to update. If you're a small business owner, you can actually use this to make your content better on your sites. It's pretty straightforward. I would say it's probably not as comprehensive as some other optimization tools, but it gets you pretty far and it's pretty decent. So I think that's really interesting. And again, you're getting all of this in one tool, in one dashboard. So basically, I know so many of us just have Semrush operating in the background all day long, doing all the different things. So, okay, next we're going to talk about pricing and what you get with Semrush. Okay, let's talk a little bit about pricing. Of course, if you pay annually on any tool out there, you're going to save some money. So for Pro, which they recommend for beginners and individual projects, you get 5 projects, you get some keyword research tools, competitor analysis tools, position tracking, backlink analysis, site audit, like the basic foundational things that you need to get going is $117.33 a month when billed annually. When billed monthly, it's $139, which I think is pretty competitive. There are other more expensive tools, but for what you get there, I think that's a great starting point. Of course, if you're a small business or an agency, or you need more projects, you're going to pay more. Again, if you look at the annual, $416 a month for up to 40 projects, API access, migration from third-party, like there's just so much more. And they do have a comparison, so you can kind of see what you need. So I do like that. I like that the pricing is transparent here. You know what you're going to get. One thing I will say about Semrush is when you get the trial and you start with, say, the pro version, and no matter what you do, I think if you are testing out new things or you want to try something that they add, there's a lot of add-ons with Semrush. It can kind of get really expensive really quickly depending on what you use. And I think some teams, like the pro reporting is really interesting, the lead generation. I think some teams really do need that, but I would caution and I would pay attention when you are testing out this if you aren't subscribed to Semrush. And even if you are and they create something new, I find that again, there's a lot of add-ons in here. So something to pay attention to. But for the base level plans, they're, I think, great value, really great starting point. You have everything that you need to get going, to get started, to track, to maintain, to start ranking. I think it's really great. Okay, to wrap things up, who do I think Semrush is best for? I think it can be really good for a lot of different use cases, depending on what you're willing to invest in and what you need. The customizable parts of this are the customizable dashboard, the ability to add on features or reports that you need can make this good for a lot of people. But I mean, it's great for agencies, marketing departments, teams running complex SEO campaigns. But I feel like because of the way they've set up the dashboards and give you step by step, I think it's a really great tool to start with. I think anyone that I know in SEO, if they've started with Semrush as their first introduction to SEO tools, they speak the language, they know the terminology, they can do a lot. And I think you can learn a lot just by using the tools. So again, if you're new to SEO or you have a small business and this is something that you really want to take on, or if you're a team of one, Semrush is actually a great tool. But let's talk a little bit about alternatives here. So like one of the alternatives that I use all the time as well is Ahrefs. Ahrefs, it's one of those tools that I think a lot of SEOs are still going to use. But again, my criticism these days is that the pricing structure changes. I know a lot of SEOs that were using Ahrefs for years, and because of the increase in prices, because of the reporting, because of how they're pricing, not as transparent as Semrush perhaps, but it is a great alternative. I would say another strong contender would be SE ranking. It's more of a budget-friendly tool. And then I would say Moz is another one. I think Moz is great for content teams. Moz is got a lot of opportunities. I think that's probably one of the other competitors. Of course, there are lots of other smaller SEO tools that do one thing really well. Another competitor that you might not think of that I like to use every day is a ChatGPT search. I think I have a lot of discussions with ChatGPT. I think it helps me think through approaches to topics and gives me like a starting point before I dig into the data, before I dig into the AI tool or dig into Semrush or dig into Ahrefs. So I think ChatGPT is actually a nice little competitor as well. Another tool that I mentioned before is MarketMuse. And if you know me, you know I've been a big fan, a big user of MarketMuse. It's really great for enterprise level content teams for thinking about your content as an entire flow of the entire website, content clusters. If you thinking about competitor analysis and if your content can actually rank and if your clusters of content can rank, Market News is probably the granddaddy to help you do that. It has way more in-depth data, detailed analysis, and recommendations than Semrush. So like I said, if that's something that's all that you want to do, you might want to invest in a tool like this, not in Semrush, but Semrush does it all and it's a great starting point. But I thought I would mention a few honorable mentions and competitors that I think should be on your landscape too. Okay, so what do I think of Semrush? I think there's a reason why it's one of the most powerful and comprehensive SEO platforms out there. There's a reason why it's the granddaddy of SEO tools. There's a reason why so many people use this and continue to use this, but it's not perfect. Add-on costs can really add up for new tools, and especially as they keep innovating, and especially as search keeps changing and we keep looking to do new things, like with AI overviews, for example. Some tools are better than others. I think their keyword research tools, I think their competitor analysis tools are great. I think their content optimization tools are a starting point, but again, I feel like there are better tools that maybe do specific things like that, but it can get you a long way. Beginners might get overwhelmed quickly, but if you take the time and you're in Semrush for any more than a few hours, it becomes really intuitive. And like I said, any SEO that I know that started with Semrush learns a lot and can really speak the language. Semrush is constantly innovating. They're always building new tools, but my complaint about that is sometimes these new tools come at a cost, and so your tool budget can add up really quickly. If you actually use the full stack, a few of these, and you appreciate the customization and you really want to invest in SEO, bottom line, Semrush is worth the investment. There's a reason why many of us keep coming back to this, use it every day. It's great. If you want to find a lower budget, or you don't need the capabilities, or you just need to do one thing, Semrush might not be your first choice. And there's some other alternatives that I recommended. That's my Semrush review and walkthrough. I didn't get to show you all 55 tools, but if you want me to talk more about SEO tools or go walk through another one, let me know, leave a comment. I would love to help you out. This has been really fun. Thanks.